This is Resonance 104.4 FM. Flippin' marvellous. How you doing? 'Tis I, Nick Hennegan, again, with another edition, another slice of Literary London. Although, we're straying much further north this time, because, yes, you may or may not know that January, in fact, the 25th of January, is known not just here in the UK, but worldwide as Rabbie Burns Day. And the reason it is known as Burns Day is to celebrate Robert Burns, of course, a poet who was born on the 25th of January in 1759, also known as Rabbie Burns, and someone I kind of came across almost by accident, really, when I was producing the Edinburgh, brackets, not London, close brackets, literary pub crawl, which I've done for the last couple of years at the Edinburgh Fringe. Not sure if I'll be up there this year. We need to find some sponsorship. Any volunteers, drink companies, just please do get in touch. You can get me at radio@mavericktheatre.co.uk. radio@mavericktheatre.co.uk. Yes, why not? Give it a crack. And I came across Robert Burns, and I was quite impressed with him, really. Sort of regarded as the national poet of Scotland. You will know his music if you've ever sung, or his words at least, if you've ever sung Auld Lang Syne on New Year's Eve, because that's a Rabbie Burns bit of writing. He was quite clever, really. He also wrote in what's known as a light Scots dialect of English, which was accessible, I think, to an audience beyond Scotland, and he also wrote in standard English. He's regarded as the pioneer of the Romantic movement, and after his death he became a great source of inspiration to the founders of both liberalism and socialism, and a cultural icon in Scotland, possibly because he had a fairly poor beginning. He was born in a place called Alloway, which is south of Ayr, in Ayrshire, on the west coast of Scotland, the eldest of 7 children. His dad was a self-educated tenant farmer, and his mum was also the daughter of a tenant farmer. So he was born in a house built by his father, which is still there today, the Burns Cottage Museum, of course, still in Alloway. And he was, when he was 7 years old, William Burns sold the house, took away the tenancy, and he grew up in poverty, basically, and hardship. Eventually, the stories are fine that he started writing. He kind of realised also that he would need to go to Edinburgh to succeed as a writer. So he borrowed a horse, borrowed a pony, and eventually made his way to Edinburgh. I think it was in 1786. Yes, and on the 14th of December, William Creech issued a subscription for the first Edinburgh edition of his book, Poems, chiefly in the Scottish dialect, which was published in 1787. So, yes, he went on. I mean, there are rumours of him being a boozer, and I mean, that's not necessarily true. Apparently, he didn't drink more or less than anybody else. And then, sadly, he passed away, which, of course, on the 21st of July, 1796, he was in Dumfries. He was 37, which even then wasn't particularly old. But of course he'd had a lot of hard manual farm labour earlier in his life, and it may have damaged his health. But we celebrate him today every year, and I can't help but play this. So it's one of his seminal works. See what you think of this? Rabbie Burns and Tam O'Shanter. Oh, by the way, I should explain, Tam O'Shanter's a kind of precautionary tale about drinking too much. Tam is a Scottish farmer, and, well, you'll hear now.
Tam O'Shanter, a tale. When chapman billies leave the street and dreary neighbours meet, as market days are wearing late and folk began to tack the gate, while we sit boozing at the nappy, getting fou and unca happy, we na think on lang Scots miles, the mosses, waters, slaps and stiles that lie between us and our hame, where sits a sulky, sullen dame, gathering her brows like a gathering storm, nursing her wrath to keep it warm. This truth fand honest Tam O'Shanter, as he frae Ayr I night did canter, all there wham ne'er a time surpasses for honest men and bonny lasses. O Tam, hadst thou but been sae wise, as ta'en thine ain wife Kate's advice, she told thee weel that thou was a skellum, a blethering, blustering, drunken bellum, that frae November till October, aye market day thou wasna sober. That ilka melder with a miller thou sat as long as thou had siller, that every naig was ca'd a shoe on, the smith and thee got roaring fou on. That at the Lord's house, even on Sunday, thou drank wi' Curtin Jean till Monday. She prophesied that late or soon thou would be found deep drowned in Doon, or catched wi' warlocks in the murk by Alloway's auld haunted kirk. Ah, gentle dames, it gars me greet to think how mony counsels sweet, how mony lengthened, sage advices the husband frae the wife despises. But to our tale, aye market night, Tam had got planted unco right, fast by an ingle, bleezing finely, wi' reaming swats that drank divinely, and at his elbow, Suitor Johnny, his ancient, trusty, drooty crony. Tam lo'ed him like a very brither. They had been fou for weeks together. The night drave on with sangs and clatter, and aye the ale was growing better. The landlady and Tam grew gracious, with favours secret, sweet and precious. The suitor told his queerest stories, the landlord's laugh was ready chorus. The storm without might rear and rustle, Tam didna mind the storm a whistle. Care mad to see a man sae happy, e'en drowned himsel amang the nappy. As bees flee hame while ladies a treasure, the minutes winged their way with pleasure. Kings may be blessed, but Tam was glorious, o'er all the ills of life, victorious. But pleasures are like poppies spread. Ye seize the flower, its bloom is shed. Or like the snow falls in the river, a moment white, then melts forever. Or like the borealis race, that flit ere you can point their place. Or like the rainbow's lovely form, evanishing amid the storm. Nae man can tether time nor tide. The hour approaches, Tam maun ride. That hour o' night's black arch the keystane, that dreary hour he mounts his beast in, and sick a night he takes the road in, as nae a poor sinner was abroad in. The wind blew as 'twad blown its last, the rattling showers rose on the blast, the speedy gleams the darkness swallowed, loud deep and lang the thunder bellowed. That night a child might understand, the deil had business on his hand. Wheel mounted on his grey mare Meg, a better never lifted leg, Tam skelpit on through daub and mire, despising wind and rain and fire. Whilst holding fast his gid blue bonnet, whilst crooning o'er some old Scots sonnet, whilst glowering round with prudent cares, lest bogles catch him unawares. Kirk Alloway was drawing nigh, whar ghaists and howlets nightly cry. By this time he was crossed the ford, wherein the snaw the chapman smored, and past the Burks and Meeklestane, where drunken Charlie's brack's neck bane, and through the winds and by the cairn, where hunters fund the murdered bairn, and near the thorn aboon the whale, where Mungo's mither hanged hersel. Before him Doon pours all his floods, the Dublin storm roars through the woods, the lightnings flash from pole to pole, near and more near the thunders roar, when glimmering through the groaning trees, Kirk Alloway seemed in a blaze. Through ilka bore the beams were glancing, and loud resounded mirth and dancing. Inspiring bold John Barleycorn, what dangers thou canst make us scorn. Wi' Tippany, we fear nae evil, wi' Uskabay we'll face the devil. The swat sae reamed in Tammy's noddle, fair play he cared nae deals a boddle. But Maggie stood right sair astonished, till by heel and hand admonished, she ventured forward on the light, and woe, Tam saw an unco sight. Warlocks and witches in a dance. Nae cotillon Brent knew fae France, but hornpipes, jigs, strathpays and reels put life and metal in their heels. A winnock bunker in the east, there sat old Nick in shape a beast. A touzled tyke black grim and large, to gie him music was his charge. He screwed the pipes and gart them skirl, till roof and rafters all did girl. Coffins stood around like open presses, that shod the dead in their last dresses, and by some devilish cantrip sleight, each in its cauld hand held a light. by which heroic Tam was able to note upon the holly table a murderer's banes in gibbet airns, twa span lang wee and christened bairns, a thief new cutted fae the rape, wi' his last gasp his gibbet did gape. 5 tomahawks were blood-red crusted, 5 scimitars were murder-crusted, a garter which a babe had strangled, a knife a father's throat had mangled, whom his ain son of life bereft, the grey hairs yet stacked to the heft, were mair of horrible and awful, which even to name would be unlawful. As Tammy glowered, amazed and curious, the mirth and fun grew fast and furious. The piper loud and louder blew, the dancers quick and quicker flew. They reeled, they set, they crossed, they cleek it, till ilka carlin swat and reek it. They coosed their duddies to the wark, and link it at it in her sark. Now Tam, oh Tam, had they been queens, a plump and strappling in their teens, their sarks instead of creshy flannin, been snaw white 17 hinder linen, their breeks o' mine my only pair, the ants were plush o' gid blue hair, I would hae gain them off my hurdies for aye a blink o' the bonny birdies. But withered bedlams auld and droll, ringwood hags wad speen a fall, and loupin' and flingin' on a crummock, I wonder didna turn their stomach. But Tam kent what was fu brawly. There was aye winsome wench and Wally, that night enlisted in the corps, lang after Kent on Carrick shore, for mony a beast to dead she shot, and perished mony a bonny boat, and shook baith meikle corn and bear, and kept the countryside in fear. Her cutty sark, o Paisley harn, that while a lassie she had worn, in longitude though sorely scanty, it was her best, and she was vaunty. Ah, little ken thy reverent granny, that sark she coughed for her wee nanny, with 2 Scots 'twas o' her riches, whatever graced a dance o' witches. But here my muse, her wingmaun cur, sick fights her far beyond her power, to sing how Nanny lap and flang, her supple jade she was and strang, and how Tam stood like Anne bewitched, and thought his very een enriched. Even Satan glowered and fidgeted fu fain, and hotched and blew wi' might and main, till first I caper, syne another. Tam tint his reason a'thegither, and roars out, "Well done, gutty sark!" And in an instant all was dark, and scarcely had he Maggie rallied, when out the hellish legion sallied. As bees bizz out wi' angry fyke, when plundering herds assail their bike, as open pussy's mortal foes, when pop she starts before their nose, as eager runs the market crowd, when "Catch the thief" resounds aloud, so Maggie runs, the witches follow, wi' mony an eldritch screech and hollow. Ah, Tam, thou get thy faring, in hell they'll roast ye like a herring, in vain thy Kate waits thy coming, Kate soon will be a woeful woman. Now do thy speedy utmost, Meg, and win the keystone o' the brig. There at them thou thy tail may toss, a running stream they darena cross. But ere the keystone she could make, defiant a tail she had to take, for Nanny, far before the rest, hard upon noble Maggie pressed, and flew at Tam with furious ettle. But little wist she Maggie's mettle. A spring brought off her master's hail, but left behind her ain grey tail. The carlin caught her by the rump, and left poor Maggie scarce a stump. Now while this tale of truth shall read, each man and mother's son take heed. Whene'er to drink you are inclined, or cutty sarks run in your mind, think ye may buy the joys o'er dear, remember Tam O'Shanter's mare.
So let that be a salutary lesson to you. The story of Tam O'Shanter by Robbie Burns. And we're celebrating Burns Night, as is celebrated around the world. Robbie Burns, the national poet of Scotland. Yes, as I say, I've become a bit of a fan quite recently, having discovered his work preparing the Edinburgh, not London, literary pub crawl, which I've done for the last 2 years, as I mentioned at the start. I'm not sure whether I'll be up again in Edinburgh this August. It's kind of hard to keep away, though. It was slightly shocking when someone reminded me that the first time I went to Edinburgh was 1992, don't you know? And I've been up almost every year since, usually with productions, but the last couple of years with the Edinburgh, not London, literary pub crawl. So yes, that's converted me into Robbie Burns. And Edinburgh, if you've not been, is a beautiful city anyway. I mean, Scotland's a lovely country. Yeah, I can't afford it. Accommodation up there's got ridiculous. Anyway, I won't go on about it now because we are celebrating Robbie Burns, and this is London's art station, Resonance 104.4 FM. I'm Nick Hennegan, and this is Literary London, although again, we're talking about the literature of Robbie Burns and celebrating Burns Night. And there's a fascinating thing I'm going to play you now, which you probably won't have heard much of before, and it's by Ewan McCall and Peggy Seeger. And they basically, back in the 80s, recorded some Scottish drinking and pipe songs with a bunch of women, mainly women, in a local establishment in Scotland. It's fairly unique, and I find it quite fascinating. See what you think. This is Scottish drinking and pipe songs.
I mind fact when you were born. Mother used to lull you to sleep. Papa Milano Pick, Papa Milano Pick, Papa Milano Pick, a sickle of Nachatu. Papa Milano Pick, Papa Milano Pick, Papa Milano Pick, a sickle of Nachatu. I used to sing for you then. Did you? There was no choice that time. Father used to give me a post on his galoon. You know what a galoon is? On his knee. And Father used to take me on his knee, and she was jealous. Father used to make her jealous, you know. She would be taking me on his knee. You to win a good do, you to win a gra do, you to win a good do, click to you to van, bear me a good cabin, chain a matter, bear me a walk of it, take a hill, you to win a good do, you to win a gra do, you to win a good do, click to you to van, bear me a walk of it, chain a matter, bear me a walk of it, take a hill,
Do the people still make their own clothes here?
No, dear,
very
no.
little weaving done here just now.
Oh, they're too lazy now. All that is done away.
What's happened to replace all these old art?
The mills.
The mills.
And all these new things.
Do you think it's too
I
bad?
think it's no. I think it's a very good idea
It is,
because
huh?
it was too much for the women here. Oh yes, it was too hard.
But listen,
besides
Ian,
taking up a family. Besides that,
They
mother.
lived longer than
Yes,
the
they did.
rest
Much healthier
generation.
too.
Yes.
Yes, they lived longer. Yes, mother was 92.
They never did that.
And she had a loom and all that, and a family to bring up,
Yes.
and 2 cows, and pigs at that carrying on the back of the hill. When you get it back, mind you, it wasn't an easy thing.
No.
They wouldn't do it today, though.
Ienis miales rapratse und vanes tokta hamaro sate uanyama uoznoni telemanyo sate uanyama kalm sakusuas ne pipek satale chide.
You know, the 3 different kinds of walking all together.
Yes.
No.
Clamor.
Yes. Clockaram. The Harris Tweed.
Them myself and the Harris Tweed. What's that? Harris Tweed? Nothing like you know what to do
what-
with it. Oh, it wasn't Harris Tweed. A pity we hadn't a bit of it. Yes. But my mother used to make.
Clamor.
3 sets of women.
Walking women.
Before they would get it to the measure they wanted.
To the shrinking.
So it was really heavy cloth. Then.
Oh,
It's
it was
very
yes,
difficult
it was
to
heavy,
do that.
Especially the clamor, because there were so many different vegetable dyes in it.
I see.
And it was a very, very heavy tweed.
In smuggled pardon. Oh, you hatchet me, sure, hatchet me. Oh, you are hoy, oh, you are hoy, you. You we mind our mother there. She had started with girls.
Yes.
They were here at the fishing. And 6 of them was in Taketa in there. And she sent over for the 6 of them, and they came over, and I mind that all right. And they were very nice with their white blouses and their sleeves turned up and lovely aprons, print aprons with their white tips. They were very nice. And their hair done up in a roll and coils on the back of the head. They were very nice. And I mind finer. And when Roderick came in, she began to do the song for Roderick.
Well, at these walkings, where they have plenty to eat and plenty to drink, and
No drink at all.
No
drink. There was no drink at all. Where was the money to get the drink, man?
Well, that's pretty unique, isn't it? Yes. Dandling Spanish and walking songs was that? Yeah, why it was Dandling Spanish and walking songs, quite unique. Ewan McCall and Peggy Seeger recorded those, and quite fascinating stuff. We're celebrating Burns Night, and one of the kind of songs that I came across while I was researching the Edinburgh, not London, literary pub crawl was a song called, or a poem that he wrote called A Fond Kiss. And this is a lovely version for us to come to a close on. Don't forget, if you're involved in anything literary, make sure you keep in touch. You can get me on radio@mavericktheatre.co.uk, radio@mavericktheatre.co.uk. If there's an event happening, or if you've got a particular poem or an article that you'd like us to look at, then do so. All right? Yeah, cute. Thank you. I'm Nick Hennegan, and this is A Fond Kiss.
A fond kiss, and then we sever.
Beautifully sung there by Mary Sandman. That was A Fond Kiss by Robbie Burns. Yes, and that's our celebration finished. I was just thinking, more stories I could tell you about Robbie Burns. I don't think we've got time. We'll have to do it again next time. Thank you so much for your company. We've been celebrating Robert Burns, the national poet of Scotland. Are you going to go to the Edinburgh Fringe this year? Let me know if you are. Radio at mavericktheatre.co.uk, radio at mavericktheatre.co.uk, because you might give me an excuse to come and see you. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Thank you very much for your company. I'll see you next week. My name has been Nick Hennegan. Don't forget we're on bohemianbritain.com. Oh, I'm everywhere, mate. Hey, common as muck. bohemianbritain.com. Check me out there. But of course, chiefly, this is Literary London on London's Art Station. Resonance 104.4 FM.